Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a brand new week, Monday, April 6th. And I hope you're excited and anticipating what God's going to do this week. I'm thrilled. I know he's up to something. Nothing gets in his way. Nothing gets in the way of God doing God stuff, doing miracles in our lives, filling us with joy, filling us with encouragement. And one of the big things we want to do during this time is find ways to connect. It's so important. We're self-isolating. We can be feeling very lonely. And so we want to find ways to connect. And we have some great life group leaders in our church. Pastor Jim is in charge of our life groups. And there's a couple people that work really closely with him. And so I want to interview them today and hear a little bit more about how we can connect together. So let's go to them now. Here we go. Well, good morning, guys. Good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
Likewise, yes. Trust you're thinking warm.
What's that?
I trust you're feeling warm over there. It's cold outside.
Got to bundle up. It's just. I heard that March came in like a lion. It's going out like a 7-headed monster beast with talons or something like that. So it's not following.
Seems like it.
No.
What's that?
It seems like it.
It seems like it. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Jim, we got some guests here today. Jim, of course, is our associate pastor in charge of many things. Life Group is one of them. But why don't you introduce who you have with us today?
Well, I'm just thrilled, to have Raylene and Dawn here. Raylene McQuaid, actually, she's a coach for our ladies' life group, so she networks with all the leaders. And Dawn does the same thing with our mixed life groups, along with Julia Nelson and myself and Ken Scheffelmeyer. We link up with the men's life group leaders. So just so thrilled that Raylene and Dawn could be with us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great having you guys here. Well, listen, I want to talk a little bit about life groups. And these days of isolation, man, connection is what people are longing for. You guys are like superheroes for people.
They are.
Feeling alone. But let's talk a little bit, a few things. One is, one thing we've said is that the church isn't closed, just the building is. Jim, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think it means that there's a new opportunities for us really to be the church, even in small groups particularly, or even one-on-one. I've been so encouraged lately just by Psalm 68 verse 6. It says, God puts the solitary in families, or the lonely in families. And I mean, the thing is, if you're looking for a place to connect, I invite you just to phone somebody that you know and ask if I can pray for you. Because these one-on-one prayer partner things can be the most powerful way just to encourage one another right in the world that you're living in today. So please consider that if you don't feel like you're connected, because God designed you for community and we're here for that.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Life groups is kind of the building block of our church, right? That we're made up of life groups. That's how we connect. Anytime you get a church larger than 60, 70 people, you've got to have life groups, because otherwise people won't be able to connect. So now we're in isolation. And does that mean that life groups are over? Or is there still a way that life groups can connect these days? Raylene.
Well, I can speak to that for the women. We long for connection, even in the midst of trying to homeschool kids or deal with husbands that are home and underfoot. We love you guys, but there's some challenges in some households right now, and we're just kind of getting into a new rhythm of things. So what we've done with some of the ladies' life groups is we've got some email threads going on where they can connect. We've got some WhatsApp chat groups that have started with some of the groups, and social media is huge. There's lots of encouraging stuff out there to find faith in place of the fear. And what we're seeing is there's been a huge disruption to routine. So for a while, like it was the Bible studies were taking a back seat while everybody kind of came to grips with their new normal. But now we're seeing our ladies get back and touching base with each other, encouraging each other, praying for each other, sharing praise items. There's been lots of that too in the midst of it all. So God is still at work, even though we're isolated physically. We're not isolated socially. So it's really encouraging to see that happen.
That's awesome.
And I think in the mixed groups as well, I've heard from some of our leaders, one of them is using Google Hangout to socially interact with their group. Some of the others are using emails and text messages and phone calls. And I agree with Raylene that, contact is still important. I've even encouraged some of them to use Zoom meetings just to interact that way. And they are. And contact is important, especially in this time of isolation. It's important to stay connected to somebody, to pray, to encourage, and to share what God's doing in our lives.
I know one of our groups are meeting regularly on Facebook, and then another group I know did a gaming app, and they're connecting that way. And to me, again, though, the big thing is prayer. Even doing a prayer fan out in your group. Leaders praying for individuals, and then they pray for each other. And it's just a marvelous way, again, for us just to go deeper with Christ in the midst of our separation.
Yeah.
What if somebody was, they thought about life groups, it didn't quite work out, and now they're in isolation, they're going, I wish I was in a life group, and now it's too late. Is that true, or is there still opportunity for them to connect in it, like to maybe start a new life group or something?
I say for sure there is. I mean, of course, our information is out there, but again, you might just want to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. How can I pray for you? I just actually had this lady 2-3 weeks ago pick up 2 Purpose-Driven Life books, and her neighbor are going through Purpose-Driven Life. Or you go on Right Now Media, there's scads of thousands of Bible studies on there. There's even resources for training our life group facilitators. They're all there. Just a great tool. If you don't have it, just call or email the office at alliancecommunitychurch.ca, and we'll get you on Right Now Media. We pay for that every month, and it's just a fabulous resource.
It is.
How about you guys? Is there is it possible to even start up a small group, and would we be able to help people with that?
Be glad to. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just let us know. Let me know.
Yep.
Be glad to do that.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
I would encourage those who are searching for a life group to not be intimidated. It's just as simple as having conversation and creating a connection with the common denominator being fellowship in Christ. And learning, we see so often in our women's groups that it doesn't matter what age you are, what stage of life you're at, where you are in your faith. Maybe you're just exploring a relationship with Jesus. You're just figuring it out right now. It's life groups are a safe place to do that. And so no matter where you are, if God's moving in your heart to get connected, just reach out to one of us, reach out to a neighbor, and just start that connection. Just take that one step.
That's awesome.
Well said, Raylene. Well said.
I would be so cool if, there's life groups that just started up here in isolation.
Yes.
On Zoom call or Google Hangout or whatever. And they said, hey, let's just, 8 people or 6 people or whatever, just started meeting. And in the future, a couple years down the road, they'll say, remember how our life group started? It started in coronavirus. That was a gift to us. I mean, that would be a cool story.
Right on.
That's for sure.
Now, you guys have put out a survey here last week, and give me some information about that. What should people be doing with that?
So what it is, it's an adult survey. It should have come to your mailbox. And basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to just get a gauge of where our spiritual health was even pre-COVID-19, if you can talk about that. And then a year from now, we want to, of course, do the same thing again and see what we can do, how we've grown, particularly in the meantime, though, now how we can grow in response to what you put on that survey. So it'll take you maybe 10, 15 minutes. If check your mail, maybe it's your junk mail, and please do that. We'd really appreciate your input, and we'd actually like it back by Thursday, April 9th, so before Good Friday. So please do that. That'd be so helpful for us if you would. Thank you.
Good. Well, Don and Raylene, thank you so much. You guys are great servants.
Amen.
Just appreciate you as friends, as fellow ministers, and I know you're blessing so many people. And Jim, you're an awesome guy to work with. We have offices right beside each other, and it's a joy to see you all the time. So God be with you guys. God bless you. Have a great day.
You too.
And
You too.
You too.
Okay.
Thank you, and all the best. We'll get through this together, and we don't want to leave
Amen.
anybody behind, so link up. Thank you.
Amen.
Love it. All right.
Sure.
Oh man, those are good people. And maybe you, as you listen to that, you thought, I want to be one of those groups. I want to start up during COVID-19 pandemic. Well, you can. You can be a pandemic group. Nah, that's maybe a little too negative. But anyways, you can start up right now. You can contact the church office at alliancecommunitychurch.ca, and it'll get right to Jim. He'll get you all hooked up into a life group, into a virtual life group that can continue into a real one when the isolation lifts. So I think that's awesome. So do that. And if you are in a life group already, just lean into connecting with your life groups so that we can continue to build community even in the midst of isolation. That's what God's plan is for us. He loves it when we're together. All right, have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.